YouTube and welcome to another video. Now in last week's vlog I went to a location on Dartmoor, great staple tour, and I said at that point that I honestly don't think there is really such thing as bad weather for landscape photography, apart from perhaps horrendous wind and rain if you can't keep it off your filters or your camera lenses. I've come to a location I have shot at in the past. It is now 5:30, sunset is at 6 o'clock this morning, so I'm going to start making my way up there this morning. I've come back to Brentor church, which I have shot before, but I've never got any amazing light here. Now looking at the weather this morning, it's very windy, and Brentor church is a very high up location. It's very exposed and it's on a ridge line, so it's going to be really windy up there, and I can tell that this morning by looking at the speed the clouds are going by. Even where I am down here, I can kind of see that high up it's going to be really windy, even though here I'm pretty sheltered. I'm going to make my way up there now, catch up with you in a minute, and this video is all going to be pretty much like how get out in bad weather, get out in the wind and stuff like that, and I'll just prove to you that you can get decent images even in bad wind, as long as you can keep the camera stable and you've got a decent tripod, you can come away with some good results. So I'm going to make my way up there now. I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Right, welcome to the location. Now you're gonna have to forgive me, it is pretty windy like I said earlier. It's not quite as bad as I thought it would be up here. I've been up here at worse conditions, but it is pretty gusty, and every now and then you do get a lot of kind of on cue, just like that, you do get a big gust come and blow you around and blow me around and stuff like that. It's gonna be a bit difficult with the audio and the videoing, but it's always like this when you're kind of at windy locations. It's harder to video, but when we're talking about photography wise, a lot of the time you can get nice shots. Now the clouds are moving very quickly still, and they are moving past the church this way. So if I can get some definition in these clouds, I should be able to get a really nice image, because what I'll do is I'll have a lot of strong leading lines in the clouds coming towards me. And hang on, I'll brace you a minute. I'll have a lot of strong leading lines coming towards me, which will give me this really nice kind of moody image. I'll turn this gimbal off. Give me this really nice moody image with the kind of clouds coming across the scene. And it should look really nice. We have got, like I said, some definition in these clouds. If I re-expose you, you will be able to see that. So hopefully those will come out quite nicely in a long exposure, which is what I'm going to be setting up to do now. We are actually past sunrise now, so we should be getting some nice colours, but because it's so cloudy, we're not going to get those at all. But I'm going to make use of the light while it's still quite dark, allow me to get some nice natural long exposures without having to put any big ND filters on there. Going to be shooting the classic composition along this ridge line, which gives this really nice kind of leading line up to the church. Really nice strong emphasis on this rocks down here. Looking down the kind of ridge line and then across a kind of negative space of the moors here. So it should come out quite nicely. It's a cool location. It's somewhere I've shot plenty of times in the past. Not been up here with a really nice strong sunrise. It is starting to rain now, it's starting to spit, and today is forecast heavy showers all day. So I'm going to get some shooting on now, try and make the most of the dry conditions before it starts hammering down. Like I say, doing some long exposures. I'm shooting with the 16 to 35 f4 Canon lens again, and it is somewhere you do need a really wide angle lens up here to really take in this lovely cliff line and the leading lines up to the church. Now this line here, this cliff is quite cool because it is a subsea lava eruption. Dartmoor at one point would have all been underwater, under a shallow sea. And this is kind of where there was a kind of ridge line broke off, and all this is old kind of magma where the land broke up and erupted throughout the sea. So it's quite interesting. Interesting in the way that there is not many of these on Dartmoor. Most of the tors and the hills are volcanic from just kind of where the land has lifted up. Obviously the tors and the granite is very volcanic, but this is a bit different where the actual ridge has been pushed out the sea. So it's a cool location, nice to get up here. Wind's picking up a bit now, as you can probably hear on the audio recording. I'm going to crack on some shots. I'll come back to you in a minute and we'll see how we get on with them. Right, it's getting windier and windier at the location. You have to forgive the bad hair day. It's so windy up here now, really galing and quite strong winds. Now, it's about 20 minutes from when I saw you last time, and I've got a few compositions set up. Been trying to do some panoramic stitches as best I can with this wind, and also doing a mixture of landscape and portrait shots, sorry. And I'm still using this leading line, these rocks down here. Now I've actually used this line here in the grass as part of the image. It's something I don't normally like, something that breaks up the leading lines too strongly, or something that kind of disrupts the foreground interest. But I quite like it in this instance because it makes this rock on the edge kind of fill in the bottom right hand side of the frame, and it takes away that kind of just grass in the corner and helps to fill in and frame the image slightly. You'll probably understand what I mean when you see the image. Really nice scene still. Now we do actually have a bit of definition coming out through the cloud now. It has improved, and I've been doing a mixture of quite long exposure shots up to about 10 seconds and down to relatively quick ones of about half a second. But the difference that makes the sky is really, really strong. It makes the difference between bringing out the definition in those clouds, bringing out kind of the textures in them, and smoothing them out to just kind of almost like overcast, totally white out sky conditions. So in this instance, long exposures really aren't working because the clouds are moving so quickly. I'm having to just shoot quite quick exposures to try and get a bit of definition in them. We don't have enough gaps in the cloud yet to get some strong leading lines in those clouds. Unfortunately, it's just given us some defined light, defined clouds, but not really any kind of movement showing towards me. I'm going to be hanging around for a bit longer, just trying to see if those clouds do change and we can get some breaks in there, and see if the sun pokes its way up through as well. Sunrise today is about there at the moment. It might creep down as the day goes around and come around to the church here, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Looking at the clouds, I don't think we're going to see it for much of the day. Shooting wise, I've still got the 0.9 soft grad, and then bring that slightly down just to darken the sky, although it is making the church quite darker, and it is something that you do find when you shoot this location. The church does often look very dark. It's quite a dark building, made from the local granite here, and it doesn't really reflect the light that well, so you always have to do a bit of post work to bring this church and lighten it up a bit afterwards. But that soft grad is really bringing out the definition of those clouds, really making the scene work a lot better. I'm shooting, like I say, with the 24 or the 16 to 35 on still. My images at the moment, I'm getting, let's have a look. So I'm shooting at an ISO of 100, and that's at an aperture of f10, and that's giving me a 1 second exposure, which is about right to bring the lights out and the textures in the sky. And I'm shooting about half a stop underexposed as well, just to help those out even more. When I started this vlog, I said that bad weather and wind isn't a reason not to get out the camera, and I 100% stand by that. But I will say it does make video in locations very difficult. Thanks for sticking by with me in this video, and sorry about the wind and the video quality. There's not much I can do about it. I do have a small tripod now which I use to try and put this on, which would have got rid of a lot of the shake in the video, but I left it in the van, or left the kind of adapter plate in the van for it, so I haven't been able to use it. That being said, I think it would have blown over anyway because it's a very light tripod. Thanks for watching this one. I'm going to be doing a few more locations now. I'm not going to bother videoing them, it's just too windy, too difficult. I hope you enjoyed the pictures, and just to show and see that you can get out and get some good shots in this really bad windy weather. Don't put it off, get out there, use the camera. Thanks for watching this one. If you have liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and as always, consider subscribing to the channel. There'll be a few more hopefully coming up from Dartmoor over the next couple of months as I try and improve my photography up here and give it a good chance at improving. And then the last couple of months I have been concentrating on more seascape kind of locations, especially in Cornwall, and I'm going to be spending a bit of time on Dartmoor while I can. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.